I think what Paul is signaling is that that Jesus was the means by which God created all things, and so tapanda is used, and then he goes on to explain tapanda, whether they are the things visible or invisible. Orata, ite, aorata, and and then he goes on to expand even into thrones, powers, authorities, and these would be the sons of God, I think, who had been given authority over the nations. And what Paul is trying to speak to is that certain ones in the congregation were trying to figure out how angels worshipped God. And so they weren't worshiping angels. Dr. Larry Hurtado speaks to this. And in fact, in the Watchtower back in the 50s, an early Watchtower had the same view, that it wasn't worshiping the angels, but it was trying to figure out how the angels worshipped. And they did this through oracles and through divine revelation. And then they would take their position on that. They would stand on the things that they had seen in these visions as to how the angels were worshiping God and were influencing those in Colossae, in the congregation there. So Paul is trying to counter this idea, and he's pointing out that it was Jesus who was the one who was the image of God, and that all things then came through him. So really, he's the one that we should be looking to as to how to worship God. He's the one with the authority because of this. And Paul seems to be drawing on wisdom tradition, where wisdom is the one whom God used to make all things. So this is hearkening back to Proverbs 8:20 through 30. So tapanda there could be viewed as, because also the philosophers, Plato and Aristotle, and those ones were trying to understand how the cosmos was created, formed, and tapanda became kind of a technical term for all of creation. So that might be how Paul's also using tapanda. So yeah, I think when he's then saying that Jesus is the pρωτότοκος, it's with inheritance language in mind. He could have said πρωτοτοκos, the first of all creation. But what he's signaling is that Jesus is an inheritor of all of God's creation as well, and for that, and so has the right of primogeniture, and that also then includes being the firstborn of the dead. So he's got the same right of primogeniture. So that's what I think is going on there.